Welcome to this Easy 11 Plus short lesson on speed, distance and time problems in maths. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and to check out the free resources and full solutions linked in the video description. Also linked there is the worksheet for today's lesson. Let's get started. Before we get cracking with this, let's think about how speed, distance and time actually relate to each other. When you talk about speed, you tend to refer to it in terms of kilometers per hour or miles per hour or meters per second or something like that. So speed might be written in kilometers per hour. So that means that speed is a distance divided by a time. We can also write that like this. Speed equals distance divided by time. We can draw a triangle around those letters, and we can rearrange them slightly to make things clearer. In this magic triangle, this here is a dividing line, and this line here means multiply. When we want to use the triangle, we simply cover the thing that we want to find out. So for example, if we're looking to find out speed, we cover speed, and we see that we have distance divided by time. Let's say that we want to find out a time value. Time equals, and we cover time, distance divided by speed. Let's say that we want to find a distance. Distance equals, we cover distance, speed times time. If you memorize this triangle, it gives you all the simple formulas for relating speed, distance and time to each other. This question is telling us to find a speed, and we know that speed equals distance divided by time, and we know that the distance is 5 kilometers. Now the time is 20 minutes, so you might be tempted to write, but look here, we need to find the speed in kilometers per hour, and that means that all our times need to be in hours, just as all our distances need to be in kilometers. So 20 minutes is in fact 20/60ths of an hour, which is a third of an hour. So actually our time is 1/3. So we need to find 5 divided by a third. Now there's a quick way to do this, but to start with, let's just work it out as a fraction problem. So 5 divided by a third, and you might want to look at my video on how to divide fractions if you aren't clear about this. This becomes 5 times 3/1, otherwise known as 3. And 5 times 3 is 15. So 5 divided by a third is 15. You can also do this a little bit more quickly. 5 divided by a third, well, a whole number is always something divided by 1. So to turn this into something divided by 1, we need to times a third by 3. If we times 5 by 3, we get 15. So you can also do it that way a little bit more quickly without worrying about the fractions division down here. Anyway, the speed of the buggy is clearly 15 kilometers per hour. Romolo's Whizzer travels at an average speed of 60 kilometers per hour. How many minutes does the Whizzer take to complete the course? So we're looking for an answer in minutes, which is a time value. Cover t here, and we get d divided by s. T equals d over s. Obviously, you don't actually need to scribble it out. You can just put a finger or a thumb over the thing that you're looking for and look at the other letters. Time equals distance divided by speed. We know that the distance is 5 kilometers, and we know that the speed is 60 kilometers per hour. 5/60ths simplifies to a 1/12 of an hour. But we're looking for an answer in minutes. There are 60 minutes in an hour, and in fact our working has already shown us that this takes 5/60ths. So 5 minutes out of the 60 minutes in an hour. So that just equals 5 minutes. So the answer is 5 minutes, or you can just write mins if you want to. Rogelio's roller only completes 80% of the course, and it takes the same time to do this that the Whizzer takes to cover the whole track. what's the average speed of the roller in kilometers per hour? So again, let's look at our triangle. Speed is distance divided by time. The distance is 80% of the whole course, which is 5 kilometers. Remember that of becomes times in maths. And it takes the same time as the whizzer, which was 5 minutes, or, because we have to work in hours, because we're looking at kilometers per hour, a 1/12 of an hour. What's 80% of 5? Well, it might be obvious to you, but just in case it isn't, let's work it out. So we need 0.8 of 5. This is the simplest way to work out a percentage problem like this. 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times 0 is 0. 4 goes there. There's one digit after a decimal point in the question, so we count one place from the right, 4.0, or 4. 4 divided by a 1/12 is the same as 4 times 12. Again, if it isn't clear why, look at my video on multiplying and dividing fractions, which is 48. The top value here is in kilometers, and this is in hours. So this is 48 kilometers per hour. Perhaps I could make my 8 a little bit clearer. There we go. This one may look complicated, but in fact we're just applying the same principles. And here we're looking at distances, how much further one person travels than another. So Police Constable 1 speeds to the scene of a lunch. He takes 30 minutes and travels 20 miles. So Police Constable 1 travels 20 miles. Police Constable 2 takes 40 minutes, travelling at an average speed of 90 miles per hour. Let's have a look at our triangle. You can choose to draw or not draw the dividing lines. We're looking for a distance, miles, so therefore we need the other two values. Distance equals speed times time. You could also write that simply as d equals st. We know that the speed, the average speed, is 90 miles per hour, and we know that the time is 40 minutes. Now, 40 minutes out of 60 minutes in an hour is 2/3. To find 2/3 of 90, or 90 times 2/3, it's a simple fractions problem. It's a bit easier if we think of 90 as being 90 over 1, which is the same thing, so we've got two fractions. Remember that when you're multiplying fractions, and only when you are multiplying them, you can also cancel diagonally. So 90 and 3 cancel. In other words, both of these divide by 3, giving us 30 and 1. 30 times 2 is 60. 1 times 1 is 1, so 60. Police Constable 2 travels 60 miles. We need to know how much further Police Constable 2 travels, so we simply need to do 60 minus 20 equals 40 miles. Both police constables travel along the same road, which has one legal speed limit along its entire length. If Police Constable 1's average speed is 10 miles per hour below the speed limit, what is Police Constable 2's average speed as a percentage of the speed limit? So this looks really complicated. But when a question looks complicated like this, just do each step and trust the right answer to fall out at the end. So let's start with Police Constable 1. We know that Police Constable 1's average speed is 10 miles an hour below the speed limit, so if we can find out their speed, that should enable us to calculate the speed limit. Speed equals distance divided by time. We know from the information we were given at the beginning that Police Constable 1 travels 20 miles. And they take 30 minutes, which is half an hour or 0.5 hours. If we want to get from the distance in half an hour to the distance in an hour, we simply need to double everything. And this is miles per hour, so it's simply 40 miles per hour, often written as mph. We know that the speed limit is 10 miles an hour more than Constable 1's average speed. So the speed limit must be 50 miles an hour. These little dots here in a triangle are just a symbol that I use to mean therefore. Now we need to find Constable 2's average speed as a percentage of the speed limit. As a percentage of is a kind of out of, in other words, divided by. So it's something divided by the speed limit. We know from the information given at the top of the question that Police Constable 2's average speed is 90 miles an hour. We can cancel this to give us 9/5. Now we could keep it like that, but it might be easier for us in this case if we make this into a mixed number. So that's 1 and 4/5. You can get to there if you think of it as 5/5 plus 4/5, giving us 9/5 in all. 1 and 4/5. 4/5 is 80/100ths, because a fifth of 100 is 20, which therefore means that we have 180%. In other words, 100% and 80%. So Police Constable 2 was driving to this lunch at 180% of the speed limit, which, needless to say, would be thoroughly illegal. I hope that was useful and that you now understand how to use the speed, distance, time triangle in this sort of question. If it was, please remember to subscribe to my channel and to check out the links to free resources in the video description. And remember, don't speed. See you next Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock. Bye bye.